Contrary to popular belief, I actually dislike the critics who deliberately seek out anything overly feminized they can. If it happens, but don't make it your only focus. In the case of The Bride, yes, just The Bride, it may lean in that direction. Most of the men are assholes, women are cool, just because. It's not that heavy-handed, nor does it display the perfect female lead. We're not talking Marvel shit here. But it is leaning that way, and I get the feeling they decided, you know what? Good enough. It may have some positives, we'll talk about those, but on the base of it, not a lot to this. And you can't really avoid the feminism on display. The fact that it's called The Bride is deliberately brought up, as in stating in the movie, not The Bride of Frankenstein. They clearly know what the audience wants. Stupid ass! Like I said, that's not really the issue, it's the lack of development beyond look, female, cool. For the most part, it goes the way you think it would. Frankenstein's feeling lonely, digs up some dead woman. Luckily, it's to his liking, but if you were to ask me what happens in the movie up until the ending, I don't completely know. Not much. You see, aside from feminism, two things carry this. The acting by Jessie, Buckley, and Christian Bale, that alone somewhat warrants it. Calling them explosive and charismatic would be beyond an understatement, and similar to another movie based on a famous monster, the look of it is a big highlight. Somewhat of a punk-inspired romance, the scenery, it draws you in, but unlike that other movie that is by no means perfect, it does something that The Bride doesn't do. It tells a story. A somewhat outdated concept, new movies think we can go without. When you get past the looks, the acting, and cool women doing entertaining stuff, you're kinda just watching things happen. A few music numbers, they're fun, a couple of chases, it's not lacking entertainment, but with a 2-hour plus runtime, you do eventually stop caring. That's the real issue when it comes to woke culture. It's not a good way to think, but if the end product is okay, I can look past that. The issue is when that's your objective, when it's all about making a cool woman lead, the result is you don't really care. And no, I don't just mean the viewers, I mean the people who put this movie together. Some may call that a bold statement, but when you go out of your way to explain that women drive, like literally they emphasize this, and then give us another scene of the same stuff, so I just don't see how anybody thought that was good enough. It's kind of like Juliet and Romeo, I didn't see that. I don't know who did, but when you do dumb shit with the titles just to get attention, you kind of know what to expect. While the plot is mostly barren, there are some ideas at play, maybe too many, but they don't help the narrative. More so, let's have some cool scene here, or a big dance number there, just because, and move on to whatever's next. Again, fun scenes, but nothing in terms of real pacing, sadly becoming the norm. And going back to the Dracula movie, it shares the identity crisis. Musical, crime, romance, monster movie that would be okay if they did something with them, but instead it feels completely unfocused, and by that I mean no direction whatsoever. The pacing isn't good either, it could have been, but you do occasionally get bored with it. With a movie that looks like this, with performances like this, that should never be the case, even if it goes nowhere. The thing is, the three aforementioned genres don't define the movie, at least not as much as social commentary. As you may have guessed, character development goes to the wayside too. Actual growth, that's not happening. I do like how The Bride isn't a perfect lead, as in without flaws. That's why I said not completely feminist, but let's face it, that should be a given. You You get these two detectives thrown in who don't do much, technically plot relevant. One of them is a female in this movie, so you know what that means. She'll be driving in all the scenes, have a cool moment when she becomes the boss, proving women can be detectives too, and have a partner who is somewhat misogynistic and also be responsible for a good amount of conflict in the movie. Like the bride herself, not exactly well written, but you get those girl power moments. It's why we came, clearly why we came. You can also come to the gaming channel if you like games. A variety of content, old stuff and new stuff. You can find the link in the description. Honestly, when it comes to reviewing movies like this, it's kind of my least favorite. You have so little to say. Luckily, banking on feminism or anything woke isn't quite as common these days, outside of Disney and superhero stuff, but on occasion you do get the movie that doesn't want to put in any real effort. You can't tell me this does, it's got spectacle, real good acting, but that's about it. There's nothing happening throughout the duration that made me think, oh look, some thought. Aside from maybe the screen size text in case you can't fucking see, you know what, it's edgy. I've been playing Resident Evil Requiem, it does the same fucking thing, even when the location is fucking obvious. I really hate it there too. I gotta bring up stupid shit like that because it's all there is. Dracula may not have been perfect, but it had identity despite being a mess in many ways. The Bride is also a mess in many more ways, but at least it's the bride, just the bride, not of Frankenstein. That's what I take from it.
And you wasted my time!
If you're a diehard feminist, and only a diehard feminist, go see it right away. Those of us who are normal, who like character development, it may be fun, eventually, on streaming. Either way, let me know what you thought about The Bride down in the comments. Like the video, subscribe down below, share it if you can, and hit the bell to get notified because recommendations aren't coming. I'm the cinema analyst because somebody has to be.